welcome till finally a new podcast. It has been a very long time since I actually did a real podcast, and also it will be the first podcast of the year. So I have been doing both Vlogtober and Vlogmas here on my channel. There I'm mostly talking about knitting, crocheting, and I have always said that I need to talking about spinning, but this is so strange. I have not been spinning anything since the beginning of October. That's really weird because I'm more or less equal when it's come to knitting and spinning. It used to go in the same hand, if I say it so. If I do knit a garment, I do often spin a braid or something like 100 grams of some type of fiber. But I have not, and I need to prioritize that a little bit, but we shall see when it comes. But it will sure come more spinning into this channel again. But for this episode it's mainly almost would be about Plot lopi, Let lopi and Alpha lopi, because okay, first of all, we can take it from the beginning. If you're new here, maybe I should introduce myself. My name is Emilia. I'm coming from Sweden, where I live with my husband, our 4 wonderful kids, and our 6 crazy dogs, a bunch of turkeys, chickens and ducks. On a small farm where we mostly grow potatoes and apples. That's our main thing over here. I'm for now a stay-at-home mom, homemaker, farmer and all of that, because I'm still home after one injury. Before that I was working in school. So enough about that. You can find me on Ravelry, on Instagram and on Etsy as Emilionstyle. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. That would really help my channel out, because I only have 34 subscribers now after I needed to start this new channel because of all of the struggle on my other channel. So now we have done all the admin stuff. Now we will jump in to one finished art object. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 works in progress. 2 of them don't count. And 2 very soon new cast on. 1 I will cast on straight away after I have edited this one and upload it. So yeah, we will start with the finished object, and this would probably a little bit of repeat if you are a returning viewer from Vlogmas, because I made this under Vlogmas. So this is my Polarnatt by Näcken, and I know I have a crease here because I was stupid, but anyway. So this is my polo design from Näcken, and it's made in 1 strand of lopi in the ash header and the black header. And this sweater have served me so well this winter, because me and my older son, we are out skiing a lot. Yay, I'm the new Gustav Vasa, because I cannot use my stick with this arm, so I use this arm. So and it had been cold. We have between 21 to 30 degrees minus Celsius over here. So this one have served me well, and it also have made me up for a new project that I will talk about really soon. But the things I modified with this, it don't came with short rows in the pattern. But if you're not a super new beginner of knitting, even if you are, just look it up. It's so much sources out there that you find it. But if you don't like things to climb up, short row is a must, if you ask me. So the thing I did, I added short row in the back of the sweater. Hopefully you can see that. Here you have the light, the front. I will see if I can get a little bit more light. No, maybe. So I added a little bit short row, and it is a bottom up construction. And after all the skiing, all of that stuff, I needed to wash this one. And when I thought it was dry enough, it was just a little bit damped. I folded over a chair, so there we go. And the other thing I did modified on this was that I actually added 10 centimeters of length to the body, because I wanted it longer. So this is my most sweater I wear the most right now, and I use it almost every single day. Not today though, but otherwise I'm using it all the time. So that's the only finished object I'm gonna talk about today. If you are wondering what's behind me, is the Year Gradient Shawl by Steven West. It was the Mystery Knit Along for 2023, and it had been finished for a while though. So it just hangs there and looks pretty. So work in progress number 2 is actually one of 2 things that I am doing for knit-alongs or make-alongs. But this one is for Nikki Knitting with Cat Hairs knit-along. You see, I always create a tangle. So this is the Irish Eye cardigan from Jennifer Beale. If you have not seen any of her pattern, I highly recommend you to go in and look at her Revelry store. She has a lot of beautiful garments. I also have another in mind that I'm not gonna pronounce because my French is really bad. It's worse than the Norwegian. Anyway, so you start with this piece, and this is a fun thing that I think is something she do in a lot of her pattern, because when I saw Nikki with her, I cannot remember what that's called, what she is knitting. I will pop it on the screen anyway. But you start like with this one. You start with this little patch in this cable fabric motif stitch, and then you cast everything off. So you are knitting it this way, and then you are turning it, and you pick up all the stitches over here, and then you knit this one, and then you cast that one off. And you repeat it on the other side, of course. And then you pick up the stitches over here, and then you cast on X amount of stitches, and then you pick up over this side too. And now I'm thinking that we are working on the back piece, and it has everything in this cardigan. You have cables, you have texture, this daisy stitch, and the only thing I don't think is had is lace, but otherwise you have texture, you have cables, you have color work. And if you know me, you know that color work is one of my favorite things to do. So that's one thing I'm working on, and that one is made in, that don't even look pretty, so it look like something else. And that's knitted up in class 1. No, I will not guess. I have actually first class tweed from Mayflower, and it's a sock yarn. So it's 7% virgin wool and 25% polyamide and 5% viscose. So I really like this one. And also in another that would be for the color work, that's called Sand, but that's long over on the other side of this room. So yeah, that's work in progress number 1. Did I say 5? I'm actually thinking I have 6, but we shall see. And if you can hear my dog, I do not apologize, because he always sounds like this. He feels a little bit sad because I was actually putting him in the hallway so I could do this podcast in the sofa for once. Otherwise, this is his area. He used to lay here with the kids. And that's Falcon I'm talking about, by the way. So, work in progress number 2 is something that I started after Christmas, because I made a sweater for my dad for Christmas gift. I started that one the 11th or 10th of December, and I finished it the night before Christmas Eve, and I was gifting him that one around dinner time on Christmas Eve. And he's not a small man, and it was a lot of knitting, but it was color work. And immediately when I cast that off, I was feeling quite, I don't know, some projects just make me feel empty when they are finished. I don't know what I would do, and I have one in mind that I really wanted to cast on, but I will talk about why I didn't really soon. So I started this one. I went to my local yarn shop and I bought some cardigan after some suggestion from her. We were talking back and forth what I should use and all of that. So this is the Unbearable, the Mini-Unbearable hoodie from Garçons. And this is knitting for my little daughter Alva. She's turning 5 this Friday though. So I'm planning to actually make this for one birthday gift to her. So I only have a little bit more on this sleeve before I start the color work on this sleeve. And then I need to do the other sleeve, of course. And then I need to do a drawstring fold here for the drawstring. And then it will be finished. No, it will not, because it's gonna have ears too, but it's Monday today. I'm probably gonna finish it because they are in school and not kindergarten again, so hopefully I can. So all of this is made in cardigan, and I know this colorway. This colorway is 4628, but I will link every color I'm using of the yarns and the numbers and things like that. So, and it turned out really good. The only thing that you maybe see, yeah, I have like a little band here. It looks like this is more tight than this, and it's because I needed to block this, because seriously, it said this would be a DK. If you ask me, this is more like a light worsted or worsted. And me and color work is, I love color works, but I love it in fingering weight. So Marie Wallen, Alice Starmore, and Jennifer, what she's called, she do a lot of stuff. You have probably read it on the screen already, because now I'm blanking a lot. So anyway, so I needed to block it, and I had already picked up the sleeve, so I had make 3 or 4 rows on the sleeve before rounds. and then I decided to block it. So this is actually how much it blooms up. You can see it's quite a difference between. So yeah, but it turned out really, really nice, I need to say. I'm really, really pleased with this yarn. So I think it's going to be really good. And then we have something there. So hopefully she will love this one. It's actually her request of it, because she was with me when I was watching Happy Hour with Legason, and they talked about, I think, Vincent. Is his name Vincent? Yeah. Otherwise, he had his on, and she asked if I could make her that one, and then I told her they have actually another one. So, and I will have yarn left over from that I will make the hat also. So that work in progress number 2, and this will probably, it will be a finished object in next episode. Hopefully I can show it also, because when she have received her garments, they often are gone, because she's using them a lot, and that makes me so happy. And also because of the cold weather here in Sweden, and if you ask me, it's just perfect. It's perfect. I love when it's cold outside. Let me see if I can pick that one up. So I decided I needed to make a new balaclava for Alva, and it's not finished, but I will pick up now for. This is how it should look. So I need to pick up this piece now. And as you might realize, I made her this one 2 years ago, I think. And this is made in 1 strand of tynn and 1 strand alpaca följetråd, or both of them from Sandnes Garn. And it have stretched out a lot. So this is so huge on her, so it don't help in that way. I needed to help, because when she has. So the thing I was talking before, someone was calling me. Every time I'm trying to sit down and record something, someone is calling me. Often I don't answer because it's not important, but this time it was actually a little bit important. But I will take it in the live stuff. So this one that I made in tynn följetråd, it's now stretched out so much that she cannot wear it as the protection she needs for her face and so on. So it's just falling off. So if she's gonna use this one, she needs another hat over it, and then it's anyway stand out like this, so all the cold air is blowing right into it. So I decided to make a new one, and this is meant to be 1 strand of fingering weight yarn and 1 strand of a mohair. But I decided this time to use 2 strand of fingering weight, and this is knit on 3.5mm needles. And so I decided to use 2 strands of fingering weight and 1 strand of mohair instead on 2.75mm needles instead. So it is quite a dense fabric right now, but it is very windproof, and she is not so big, so hopefully this, and I know this will not stretch a lot, and it fits her perfect. So the other thing I will modify, I will do it a little bit longer and wider, so it's not just sitting onto her neck. I want it to actually go down a little bit for her shoulder, a little bit down on her chest too. So the thing I'm using, now you're gonna be surprised if you're a returning viewer. This is Lima Designs sock yarn, hand-dyed sock yarn, of course, and it's called Barbie with a Gun. It's on her sparkly base. I couldn't resist. It's called Barbie with a gun, for God's sake. And one strand of, so I'm using 2 strands of this, and 1 strand of this Rama Plum, I think it's called. Maybe not. Used white. I will go and grab one and see what it's called. Yes, Ramadan Plum in the colorway 3. So that's what I'm also working on for now. So that's work in progress number 3. See if we try to keep count of everything. So okay. Obviously everyone is going to call me today, so why? Why? The other days it's just peace and quiet and no one is calling me, but now everyone is calling me. Yada yada yada. So now we're into work in progress number 4. Yes, it would be number 4. And it's of course just a plain vanilla sock, but it's also in Limo Design hand-dyed sock yarn. This is Crazy's Cat Lady. And I'm not the person who actually do have cats. I like them, but I cannot have them because my husband is extremely allergic to them. But my sister is very much a cat person. I'm more or less a dog person. So you can just guess who will get these pairs of socks. And this is actually my second pair in this colorway. So yeah. And for just changing stuff up, this was actually a totally accident, because when the 3rd of January I was to my nerve surgeons again in Stockholm. That's almost 3 hours. It's a little bit more than 3 hours drive from me. And when it's winter you can count another hour, and the time I had you can count another hours, so 5 hours, because you got stuck. So I decided I would take the sock with me, and I didn't take the white with me because I really do like cuff down with a heel flap and gusset. But now it will be an afterthought heel because I needed to take the brightest color and the lightest color out and do a little strip over here where I will place my heel. So it will be what it will be what it will be. So that's work in progress number 4. So okay, I have 6 work in progress. I cannot count. I started a new thing right after the New Year's Eve because I was waiting for some yarn to arrive, and I didn't want to cast on the thing I really wanted to cast on because I needed to fit in another garment between that I will soon talk about. So I started another blanket. I do already work at one of them for my little Alva. It's of course a black Battenberg blanket. So now we're not talking knitting anymore, now we're talking crocheting. So this one I am now picking up again, and have decided I need to add in 4 colorful, not colorful squares, 4 solid square, because you join them together with the solid square. So that will mean if I do add in 5 every single day, hopefully this will be finished really soon. So that's one thing I have done for the past days now, and all of my colorful squares are finished. So it's in a lot of this Ziploc bags that I have a lot of. Why, I don't know, but I have had them for a very, very long time, so then I can use them for something. So all of these colorful squares is hand-dyed sock yarn from Limo Design, and also from another Swedish indie dyer that's called Hexcutter Dye. Her name is Diana. And yeah, all of the squares need to have pink or purple in them for be joining in this blanket, because that's the request from Alva, and so it will be. So it's a lot of scraps. I have bought a lot of minis from them though in the dyers and so on. But I started another one, a new one, and this is also in sock yarn from, it's actually, this is an opal sock yarn. It's called Barefoot Patch, and this is permit sock yarn that's called Rise and Sun, I think. This is a really old one, and this is from Limo Design. And I hold them together so it will be a DK weight instead, because I have so much left over of this high eco wool from Vikingarn, just white, and I can do a whole garment with the white, but I'm a little bit scared about white with 6 dogs and 4 kids. So I will use it in the blanket for my youngest son Victory instead. And this will not happen because I'm aiming for have this one done for his birthday, the 20th of March. It will not happen because I can probably not pull that one off in that amount of time, but it is a blanket so it don't count anyways. But I have also a lot of small minis from Limo Design. Again, I needed to purchase this. So this is one mini kit from her that's called Stark. So it's all of these lovely colors that would be squares, and I will combine this, not hold them double with themselves. I will hold them double with this gray left over from Legason. It's their DK, no, it's their BFL twist sock yarn. So I will have more or less, let me see if I have one over here. Where did I do? Cast it off there. So it will be more like this effect of them. So hopefully they will turn out just fine. So that's one thing I do work on, and that's the thing I have been working on also with this one and the sock of course and her little hat this start of this year. So that's all for work in progress, I think. Yes, it is. So now to future cast on, and one will happen today and the other one might happen today also, because now I'm sick of waiting. If you was here with me on Vlogmas, you probably know that I was talking a lot about my Maja cardigan that I wanted to start, and I have wanted to do that one for a very long time. I have looked at it for a very long time, and then I decided this winter that I would start it. And so I ordered the yarn, and for once I did actually ordered the yarn in the exact colors. That's something very strange for me, that I use the right yarn and the right color for the pattern. So I ordered a let lopi. So now we go from float to lopi with my Polarnatt sweater to let lopi, and it will be this beautiful cardigan. And I was so craving to cast this on after I was finished with my dad's sweater. But after me and my son have been out skiing a lot, cross skiing, also skate skiing, he wanted his own Icelandic wool sweater, because he has also borrowed my Polarnatt because he's quite tall and I made it longer, so that was the only sweater he can borrow from me. So I have used my Wild Posy instead. That's also in, but it's in 2 strands of Polarnatt. And he have always been like this, that I am not allowed to knit him a garment if it's not in very, very soft wool. And I'm not the person who actually likes soft wool. I like this more rustic yarn because I think it's hold up a little bit better. It don't peel as much. It don't lose its shape as much. And I'm also a little bit allergic to superwash. So anyway, enough about that. So he wanted his own Icelandic wool sweater. And he found a book that I bought for a while ago, I would say. I think I bought it 2020 or something like that when she released it. And it's this book, and now I have another paper here. This book from Linka Neumann. It's called Villmarksgenseren. She's a Norwegian designer. So wildness sweaters, I think it's called in English. And he found this. So this is called the Villmarksgenseren, the wildness sweater. And it's made in alpha lopi. So now we go to alpha lopi. So I did order the yarn, and I was waiting for the yarn to arrive. And this yarn had been trapped in Stockholm. When you order from Limo Design, it went so quick and it's home. Even though it's quite far away from me, but it's always quick as hell to arrive. But not this time. So if I just had cast my cardigan on, it would be finished already. But today, finally today, this morning, that's also why I still have my hat on, because I need to go in very deep snow to my mailbox to collect this. This is a beautiful little box that I don't know how in earth she was managed to fit all of this in this little box. Maybe she used magic. So it have arrived, and it will be in the same color as the picture I showed you. So we have this that I don't know what it's called. I can just put out the book again, except for one color though. So this one is of course white, just white, and this is a space blue. Maybe I should hold it at the right. No, I dropped it on the floor, so I take a new one then. Space blue, and this is called beige tweed. And then she didn't have the amber headed in alpha lopi, and she didn't have it in Polarnatt either. So then I thought, then I can take this rust color. I cannot remember what it's actually called, but she didn't have it in alpha lopi either. So I decided to take 2 balls of let lopi instead. So I will hold them double. So that's what I will cast on now, after I have added this together and maybe have been out skiing a bit, because that's the thing I do, because that's a thing I'm obsessed with right now, because it's a thing that I actually can manage to do with just one arm, even though I didn't believe I was able. So this is also though my purchase and acquisitions for now. So that I will cast on today. So I hopefully keep my fingers crossed, I will have this finished and that finished and probably the sock finished and his sweater in the next episode, and a lot of progress on the blankets and my Irish eye. But the Irish eye is a little bit of the back burner right now because it is a fingering weight, it's an open cardigan, it's not suitable for this weather. Life update, farm update. Life have been hell, and it also have been good. I have had a lot of headaches through the whole, from the end of August and also still. And they find the problem of that when I was back to my nerve surgeons, and they told me my nerve stimulation for the nerve pain is actually pressuring on the injury. So when they do this electric shocks that are going to stimulate the nerves and try to trick the nerves that it actually is something there, it don't work. It have the opposite effect, and it start a lot of pressure, a lot of tensioning, and that's caused this very, very annoying headache. Some days it is so bad that I cannot even go out of bed. So they will pull that one out, and they will try first to back it off a little bit so it will be just right underneath the injury in my neck, and then we shall see what's happening. And if nothing is happening, that I am actually my muscles, because all my muscle on my left shoulder and my left upper arm is paralyzed, and that means when you're stimulating something that don't actually have a response to it, it just manage it to cramp because they don't know what they should do. So yeah, we shall see what's happening over there, but it's fine that I have a solution on the problem anyway, and I have an answer to why. And it has not helped for the nerve pains anyway, so it's just blah. Otherwise, I've been home with the kids and had a lovely Christmas and New Year's Eve and the days between, because my husband had been home too. So we have had a lot of lovely time together, even though my headaches have destroyed a lot of things of it. I have also had my sister, her partner, and my little nephew here for a few days, stayed at my house. So I had a lot of time with my little nephew. He is going to be 2 this year. I cannot believe it. Cannot. So, and also my husband turned 30 last Friday. No, not last Friday, 2 Fridays ago now. So he's grown up now. He's still 3 years behind me, but it is what it is. I used to bully him for he's so young. Otherwise, we have had a lot of things going on. This is a little bit of a mixture of farm life and also a little bit mixture of very much personal things, but they go hands in hand, and I need to let it off my chest. My bloodline of turkeys that I raised this year, no, not this year, last year, I hatched a whole new bloodline. I was buying new eggs with a whole different bloodlines and hatched them, and everything went well. We got a full pot of them. Quite strange, but we did. And all of them was roosters. A few of them have already found new homes, and the few that I decided to keep, because I have my favorite one. His name is Stalle, and he have been with me for a very, very long time. And he has a new fiancée that's called Rosa, because he lost his other one that's called Sun. She did pass away the last year. But anyway, I do not have any bloodline left now of the new bloodline, because they turned out to be real turds. So they was not only aggressive to each other that they used to be when they are at the age to repopulate, if I say so, and do talk about the order a little bit. Then they can be a little bit nagging on each other. But it used to sort out really quickly, and Stella is the oldest and he is the biggest one, so he used to keep them very on a short leash. But this time we had turkeys, and I do not have small turkeys. I have the biggest size you can imagine. So they decided to regroup and be aggressive to anything. That's also mean for me, my mom, my dad, my husband, all of the kids. And my kids are in the age from 15 to 4, soon 5. And to have the little one, Alva, with me, she's always with me, she's always want to help me with stuff. I couldn't take her with me into the pens anymore, because it was too dangerous for her, because they are the same size as her, more heavy than her, and a lot much stronger. So they ended up in my freezer instead, and there they can be. Today will be some type of dinner. But it's a boomer, so now I need to figure out a new bloodline, because I need new blood into my turkeys. But enough about that. That was the farm news. The personal news is really heartbreaking, but I knew this would come, because in the spring, I think I was talking about, I have a really close friend to my entire family, with my mom and my dad and the whole family. She's not counting as a friend anymore, she's actually counting as family. And she's also been a farmer for a very, very long time. And she had sheep, and yeah. She had been a person that had been very, very close to me. And this spring I was telling you about, I think it was actually maybe on my old channel, that this is going to end in a heartbreak. And we are soon to be there. She was diagnosed very suddenly with cancer after my mom was nagging at her, and in the end she was just needed to almost drag her to the hospital to figure out what's wrong with her. And she got the news that she had a very aggressive form of cancer. And first of all, she didn't want any type of treatment for it, but then she changed her mind, so she had a little bit of treatment, and we knew it wouldn't last long, because it was more or less for just earning a little bit of time. So we have taken care about most of the stuff for her house, her farm, her everything on this time. But now she have decided to end the treatment, so she is going to leave me between 8 to 12 weeks now, and it breaks my heart, and it breaks my heart a lot. And this is one of the reasons I didn't do the 24th day of Vlogmas, because I just need to be in my present me near her, and that she has accepted this is her will, but she's okay with it, and she say I need to be okay with it too, but I can't, because it's more or less like losing an other mother, if I should explain the bond between me and her. So it's hard. It's really, really hard, but I'm trying to be as open with it as she is, because she wanted me to be that, and she wanted me to just talk about it. So it's going to be easier for me. I'm not really there yet. I'm not there yet, but I will do my best this last time I have with her to do whatever I can to make her as most comfortable that I can make her, because I'm not gonna leave her. I will not, even though if it's just a phone call and talk for a bit, because she's also very, very weak right now, so I'm not really allowed to meet her because I'm still cold. So if I can spare her that too, I will. So that's a thing that's going on right now, that it have already broken my heart into pieces, but when the day is here, the grief is going to be very hard, very, very, very hard, because I have lost so many close to me the last years now, so I don't know. It just sounds really, really strange maybe to talk about it, but I promised her that I will. So I will, probably. So I would try to keep my mood up for her sake. So that's one of the things that I'm dealing with right now. But it is what it is. Life is not always fair. But otherwise, life, I have been busy. Just to talk about something that is more of a little bit lighter subject maybe. The small kids, I need to say, have driven me bunker this Christmas break. They cannot keep it together. They cannot be in the same room with each other. They cannot be outside on the same area with each other. They have been so tired of each other. So today is the first day Alva is back on kindergarten, and I'm so damn happy to have them apart for a while now, because it have just been a mess, I would say. The life with two kids that are very, very close in age. Alva is now turning 5, Victor is 6, he's going to be 7 this year. So yeah, it is what it is. And then we have the teenager Dave, he's going to be 15 this year, and Tuva is going to be 13. So it is a lot, and I'm more or less home alone every single day on the weeks, because my husband is a truck driver, so I'm happy to see him before I go to bed. And otherwise it used to have been a mess, but you can always find the funny parts in everything of them, like Alva when she is actually trying to discipline her brother and give him a very good lesson with words. She's not hitting him, I promise, but she can come up with a very good story about why you should not do that. So yeah, it is what it is. But we are losing light now, so I'm going to adding this, and I'm going to upload it, and I hope you will like to and subscribe to my channel. It would really be awesome, and I hope to see you very, very soon. I'm aiming for this year to do a new podcast every single week. Don't hold me to it, because it's probably not going to happen, but I'm aiming for it. So I will see you really soon. Bye bye.